Hey all, this is WWE superstar Sami Zayn.
Lena Vega here. And
yours truly, the half man, half amazing Montavious Porter MVP. You're listening to Road Trip After Hours with MacDavis
and Hall of Famer Teddy Long.
But a certified G and a bona fide stud, and I'm not even talking about me, I'm talking about Teddy Long and my man MacDavis. How you guys doing? Enjoy the show, guys.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to an all-new episode of Road Trip After Hours. I'm your host, MacDavis, along with my WWE Hall of Famer co-host, Mr. Teddy Long. Hey, Teddy, how you doing?
All right, I'm good, Mac. What's going on with you, player?
Hey, man, it's just been a good week, and we got a great guest today. You want to tell us about it?
Well, yeah, man. I think that what we're doing, we're starting the new year off right, and I couldn't think of a better person for us to bring on here today. There's a lot of things going on in the world of professional wrestling. And, I think with all this stuff that's happening and what's going on now, I think more people need to be, straight up and be truthful about things, And so the man that we have here today is a man that I have a whole lot of respect for, a man that certainly will go out of his way to help you in any kind of way. And he's a man that I have seen that he has walked up on people that were being mistreated or not being treated right. And he stepped in and straightened that out and made sure, that things were right. And so, how can you not have respect for somebody like that? So without further ado, we're going to get him on in here. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to you my man, Konnan. He's in the house today.
Yo, what's up, Teddy? Thank you for the great introduction. I have a ton of respect for you. Because it's kind of funny because when I broke into the business, and you might have broke, what year did you break in, Teddy?
Around 82, 83.
Okay, so way before me. So I broke in probably 88. Okay.
Okay.
And as you know very well, back then there weren't a lot of brothers, there weren't a lot of Latinos, there weren't a lot of women. There's a whole bunch of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's call it cultural ignorance.
Right.
Right. So, it's really cool because you grew up through all of that and you saw all of this stuff and you've lived a lot of stuff just like I have, and like you said, when the Mexicans were mistreated, we stepped up and I made sure that they were treated correctly.
Right. And that's and let me say something about that, Mac. That's another thing too, about the respect I have for him, because a lot of people my race, a lot of black guys, that I broke into business with, they didn't stand up for me. In fact, I was right in the room one time with Thunderbolt Patterson. He was supposed to have been the guy, to take care of us, and he called me more niggas than Ole Anderson did. So I'm just saying, bro,
man. Let me tell you a story that you probably know, but I very rarely have said this. So when the first day I went into what was WCW called before?
Georgia Championship Wrestling?
No, NWA.
NWA,
right?
Yeah.
Weren't they called NWA before?
Yes, NWA.
Okay. So the first day that I got in there, I go into the dressing room, and Rocky King, right?
Yeah.
Player. Okay, so Rocky King is in the shower and he's crying because he's just been fired because he was called the N-word, by a couple guys there. And he stood up for himself and he got fired. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? You know what I'm saying? And of course, you'd always hear shit, hey, Mexican jumping bean and this and that. And I had to tell a couple people, look, I don't call you, redneck or honky or whatever. I don't call you any derogatory terms. We're just playing around. Here's the problem, my friend. When you play around with me, other guys think they can do it. Okay?
Exactly.
And that stops here. You know what I'm saying?
And then, you know what I mean? And I don't really believe that. I've always thought that was just something that's just an excuse. You weren't playing around with me.
100%.
You weren't playing around with me. You were doing exactly what you wanted to do, and you want me to think that you're playing. But
right.
I just thank God that I learned this. I stayed around. I learned to play this game. I learned to keep my ears open and my mouth shut, and not let people know what you really know. So,
right. Because they would have gotten rid of you
it's real good.
If you, and you know this, bro. A lot of people go, "Oh, you bring up the race car, you bring up the race," because it existed, and I'm not going to ignore it, right?
No,
so. You knew very well. You were smart enough to understand that if you complained, you were gone. 100%. Yeah.
That's what they were waiting for me to do is complain.
Right.
Yes,
That's
right.
why they came up to me and they said the N-word to me, because they wanted me to complain. You know,
Right.
I don't care what you say to me, just don't put your hands on me. That was my
Right.
philosophy.
Right.
You know,
Right.
one of the things that I really love about Konnan, Teddy, is the fact, and Konnan, I don't even know if I told you this when we met recently. I was with Teddy at a recent show. I'm trying to remember where that was, Teddy. And for the life of me, I can't remember what show we were at, but I think it was WrestleCade. It was WrestleCade. And I was there at the table with Teddy, and someone got my attention away from the table for a moment, and you came over to speak with Teddy. And I have always wanted to meet you. And I thought I missed that opportunity when I was there, but I turned around because you waited. Somehow, I don't know if you just knew I was waiting to say hello or what, but I turned around and you introduced yourself to me and said hello. And I want you to know how much that meant to me, because Konnan, there's only a handful of people in wrestling that I truly believe understand the business still. You're one of those names. It is you, Jim Cornette, and several other people, but not many, who still have that old school way of wrestling, that understand what makes somebody want to see somebody else get their ass kicked. And that's something that I think is missing in wrestling. So I'm curious, with AEW right now, if you had a pencil right now and you could do something to help them, what would you do?
Oh, there's a million things, but I'll bring up a couple.
Yep.
Number one, I would make sure Tony stayed off Twitter. That's a bad look.
Yes.
Okay. Number two, bro, it's ridiculous to me because Tony, and I get along with Tony. Okay, let me preface that.
Yeah.
But it's mind-boggling to me that he always says, "Oh, well, I'm not going to make the same mistakes WCW did." And bro, one of the first things that Eric Bischoff said that was a huge mistake was taking on other shows, which he has.
Yes.
And he books everything himself. You know, he gets ideas here and there, but he books everything himself. He needs help, you know. And the other thing is, bro, I can't believe that. Like when they bring, I'll give you an example. They're not the only ones.
Yes.
When they bring in the Japanese talent, right?
Yes.
So are you just supposed to like know who these guys fucking are? You know? Yeah, they're hardcore fans know who they are, but a casual fan's thinking, who the fuck is this? And so they don't have video packages. They don't tell you nothing about them. So there's not a connection. There's no backstory. I'll give you an example. They just did it last week. I don't know if you saw the show where the Mexicans showed up from CMLL.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So they went to Rampage and they got like the lowest rating in like 6 months. Well, yeah, one of the reasons is because you got 4 guys there that nobody knows who the fuck. Can I cuss or no?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can say whatever you want.
Who the fuck they are. They don't do no video packages. They don't do any character development. They're just out there, you know? And so that's a huge mistake too. There's a lot of stuff that, let me think of another thing that they do that I'm like, what's going on
Well,
here?
let me ask you this, Konnan. One of the things that I've always said, and I still feel this way, that the biggest issue with AEW may be Tony Khan himself and the inability to handle constructive criticism. Is that something that
he takes everything personally.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm like, dude, okay, I'm the booker for AAA in Mexico, right?
Right.
And all these smart marks, and they hate that word to be used, so I use it on purpose just to piss them off. All the smart marks, you know, are always telling me, well, you know, you did this wrong and you did this wrong. Okay, let's tackle that subject. So let me see if I got this right. So you're a wrestling fan for 10 or 15 years and you've gone to shows and but me, that I've been in the business, been in the dressing room, have drawn in Mexico, went to WCW, all the things that I've done, been in creative, you somehow know more than me? Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Yep.
And bro, there's a lot of disrespect, you know, like, oh, the old heads. You know what? You might learn something from the old heads if you listen and just saying they're old, because we were around when wrestling was fucking blowing up, you know. Teddy was in WWE when they were blowing up, and you know, WCW was blowing up. Like,
oh yeah,
you know, there's things from old school that, because this is the way I book. I take things that I know will always work from the old school, that will always work no matter what, you know, because 1-on-1 is always going to be 2, right? And then I take some of the stuff that the new fans like, and I can incorporate them,
Yes.
But bro, you see so much thigh slapping, it looks ridiculous. So many choreographed spots, looks ridiculous. So many people that aren't ready to even be on TV, and
Yes.
they're out there, like so.
Well, it's just that our business has changed. We
Right.
went like that marquee is. It's WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment. And
Right.
that's what I think that they really care about now. I don't think it's back to the old way or the old school, but you can't forget who brought you to the dance. There
Right.
has to be good versus evil. That
Yes.
draws money.
Right.
Okay, just it's great to be able to wrestle and entertain. That's good for you. If you're a wrestler and you can entertain, then you got something going for you. But there are a lot of guys that just able to wrestle and not able to entertain, so they need a backup. So
I'll put over always, Teddy, and I'm sure you'll agree with me. I will always put over some. Dusty Rhodes, not a great wrestler, but he had a connection that 99% wish they had, right?
He could entertain.
Right.
He
Exactly.
made it up with the entertainment.
Let me tell you, we just had this year we experimented with something in AAA, which is the promotion I work for in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So we did a nostalgia thing where every TV show, we've had 3 so far, and we brought back everybody from the past, right? All the matches had nostalgia because 3 generations of people have grown up on AAA.
Yep.
And bro, it was sold out. Not one 5-star match, not one 4-star match, because it doesn't fucking matter, bro. They were there watching the people they grew up with. And I'll give you another example, Teddy. So Jim Duggan, right? Every time I would read Meltzer, he'd give him 1 star or 1.5. And I'm like, okay, let me see if I got this right. This guy comes out, okay? He gets the place crunk with the ho and the USA, and then he hits you with the fucking 2x4, and he got the biggest pops the whole night.
Yeah. With something that simple.
Right.
Just that simple.
Right.
I know that we're running out of time, and I want to quickly ask you about a couple of things, Konnan.
Right.
Just today, news has broke that TNA has released Scott D'Amore. Your thoughts?
Well, I don't really know what's going on. I've worked with TNA for a long time, and we still work with them. AAA did dual shows with them, but it's kind of new and fresh, and I'm kind of getting information from people within the company. I don't know exactly what he did because they're trying to keep it close to the vest, bro. But in wrestling, everything gets out.
Yeah. I was surprised by the word that kept being used as I've heard the news today. The word "fired" was in there. It wasn't was released or anything. The word "fired" was used. So it sounds to me like it was sudden and it was something that may have happened that caused that release.
Yeah, I wish I could give you some, but I don't really know. I'm still kind of finding out myself. It's the first day, what I'm saying? Yeah. So, yeah.
All right, before I let you get out of here, Konnan, this is Road Trip After Hours, and I was hoping maybe you got a great road trip story you can share with us. And it can be, like I say, this is you can. This is not PG. You can go as far as you want.
Oh my God. I'd probably get canceled for half the shit that I could tell you right now. So let me see. This isn't a road story, but it did happen on the road. So we're in Mexico, and some kid, he's probably like 15 or 16, Rey Mysterio's in front of me, and he slaps the shit out of his back. Okay? And Rey, I've never seen him in a fight, very rarely gets mad. He turned around and he clocked this guy. Right? So we're this dressing room we were in, it was a border town. It's called Nogales. Okay? So I go up the stairs where the dressing room is, and somebody runs up and they go, "Hey, Rey Mysterio is getting beat up." And it was the kid's uncles. Okay? So they were in there putting the boots to him, and then this other wrestler got involved, and so all the fans got involved. So I went down there, and I got a chair, and I just started cracking motherfuckers as hard as I could. So we went to the so later on, the police come, right? Because people are outside the arena and they're fucking going nuts, and we want these guys in jail. And so they come up there and they're like, hey, come with us and we're going to let you go. We just want the people to see that we put you in the police car. And I said, well, don't put me in handcuffs. So this is crazy young me not giving a fuck. As we go outside, they try to put handcuffs on me. And I go, I told you not to put fucking handcuffs on me. So next thing you know, I start walking away and they're pointing guns at me.
Oh,
okay?
God.
Yeah, they're pointing guns at me. And they go, you need to stop. And I go, the first motherfucker that touches me, I'm going to clock him. So these guys there's like a circle of around 5 cops. They're following me with guns. I'm actually crossing the street so everybody can see this going on. There's a helicopter on top. And so they decide to gas me. So once they gas me, this guy gets me kind of like in a what would you call it?
Chokehold or some type?
Like a chokehold. Yeah. And I knew that if I flipped them over, I'd get out of it. But I also knew if I flipped them over, they'd probably beat the shit out of me.
Yeah.
You know?
They probably shoot you.
Right. So we get in the car and the cops are like, oh, if my kid knew I did this to you, he'd probably never talk to me and blah, blah, blah. We go to jail. It was me and this other wrestler called, oh, you probably know him, Teddy LaParca.
Yeah.
So they put us in jail and motherfuckers start showing up. I kid you not, with neck braces and slings. I'm like, bro, there's absolutely no way we beat all these motherfuckers up. Okay.
They knew.
Right. So they're like, okay, we're going to wait till everybody leaves and we'll get you out of here, which is what they did. And bro, the same guys that arrested me, we went to a bar with. But when I went to my hotel room to change, guess who's coming out of his room? Rey Mysterio. He had not stayed with me at the jail cell, at the play, and we had a little bit of heat over that. But the same guys that arrested me, we went out to a bar together. Okay, that's a pretty good road.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Hey, folks, if you want to catch a fantastic podcast, and you have several variations of that podcast, do you not, Konnan, of K1 on a K100? You have the listener mailbag, which is something I listen to quite a bit, but you have other shows as well, right?
Yeah, so we've got a sports show. We've got a thing called K100 Talks where we discuss political, topical issues, right?
Yep.
We got a sports one. So, but basically the main show, just for those that are not aware, it's kind of a men's magazine. We talk about everything. Like I said, sports and, whatever's happening in wrestling. Like right now, everybody's like has an opinion on this Cody Rock thing, right? So that's a big thing. When Punk got fired, everybody was talking about that, and it draws numbers, But we're doing really good. I've been doing this podcast for around 7 years, and other podcasts 12 years total. So the only guy that had a podcast before me was Cole Cabana.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's a fun way to kind of like, hook up with the fans. And you can find that it's called Keeping It 100 with Konnan. And that's on Amazon, Spotify, Facebook, YouTube, everything, bro. Yeah.
Now, one of your co-hosts on that show, of course, is Disco.
Oh, he gets mega heat.
I'm wondering how many times do you want to punch him? Do you want to punch him about every show?
Here's a funny thing. Well, I've known him 30 years. He's one of my best friends, so I'm already used to him. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about Disco, bro. He's great because he's a provocateur.
Yes.
So he'll go out there and he'll throw shit that he knows is gonna get the snowflakes triggered. Oh, and do they get triggered? And we monetize that.
Hell yeah.
It's
no different than wrestling. It's a business. It's
where are you living, Teddy?
I'm still in Atlanta.
You're still in Atlanta? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, is that where you're from originally?
No, I'm from Birmingham, Alabama, but I've been in Atlanta, man, over 50 years, so it's kind of like my home.
Yeah, that's your home. All right, bro.
Yeah.
Let me just say this. It was beautiful seeing you at WrestleCast. I hadn't seen you in a WrestleCade, whatever. I hadn't seen you in a really long time. Looking good, man. I love you to death. And because, like I said before, we went through some rough shit in this business, being a minority. People may not want to hear it, but it's true nevertheless.
Exactly.
Absolutely true. Yes.
Yeah. And
Konnan.
I'm great. And I'm also, one last thing I have to
Sure.
say this. And I'm also happy, Teddy, that you had a great run in WWE and made some cheese. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, hey, man, I really appreciate that, man. And thank you so much, too, man, for everything, too, because, back in WCW, I came up with you, Lapaka, Psychosis, all those guys, man. We was all sharing a room together down at the Disney.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That was a great place because it was a residence inn. So it was like, it was almost like living in a house. Remember that?
Yeah. Oh, man, it was great, man. So, and thank you so much for coming on, man. And if you need me or Mac on your show or anything, just let me know, man. I'll be happy to whatever you need. Thank you again.
My friend,
thank you so much.
Nothing but love and respect.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Konnan. And this has been Road Trip After Hours. I'm your host, MacDavis, along with my WWE Hall of Famer co-host, Mr. Teddy Long, and our special guest, Konnan. We'll see you next week.
Good luck on your show.
Thank you, sir.